Got that on mute. Let me record here. Hello and welcome to the Prospect Podcast here on HawkFanatic.com. Happy to be joined today by Leighton Jones, offensive lineman from Indiana. Happy New Year, Leighton. Thanks for doing this for us. I know the fans will be looking forward to hearing from you guys since you've signed your letter of intent. And you're kind of one of those guys that when I saw committed, I never really had any doubt that you would sign. You seemed all in from day one.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So for people don't know, I kind of looked this up on 247 today. February 21st, 2022, you were offered by both Iowa and locally Purdue, which I'm guessing is about less than an hour from your house, roughly.
Yeah, it's a little less.
Yeah. So, and then 4 or 5 days later, you were a Hawkeye. Talk to folks about kind of what the process was and what was it that led you to Iowa as opposed to a school that was right up the street that now has a new head coach. Anyway, it kind of illustrates the commitment at Iowa to the coaching staff.
Yeah, so, I mean, really my kind of recruitment started off junior year going into camps. Coach Bell invited me to a camp, so I went in as a defensive lineman. And then
was this the summer of 21, Leighton?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went in as defensive lineman. I did honestly really well for kind of like my first defensive lineman experience, because I played tight end before that. And then fast forward like another month, I got invited to the Tailgater, which is like kind of like their premier like recruiting event for their next upcoming classes. And I kind of fell in love with it there, along with my first game day visit. And that, I mean, I pretty much knew I wanted to go right then, especially when you expect the same thing from like other places. It's like, okay, this is like my first experience, and then everything else is just kind of like under that. And then I just kept growing my relationship with the coaches. And then I got offered right after wrestling season, and then I already knew where I wanted to go. So I didn't have to wait that long to make it official.
Yeah, and humble brag for me, Leighton still uses my photo as his avatar on Twitter. I took that, I think, during his visit before you got offered even. Wasn't that the season before?
Yeah, that was my first game day visit.
Yeah. That was cool. So, yeah, and I think I wrote about you before Iowa had even offered when you had visited and you had expressed how much you like the Hawkeyes. What is it about this program, Leighton, for you?
It's honesty and they're just being real with us. Other programs, they try to feed you BS or make sure NIL is like one of the top things they think of. And they're just more about development. So I feel like that really kind of stuck out, as far as like with wrestlers, how that goes. Wrestlers have a big place in their program, so I feel like everything that I do kind of like matched up perfectly with Iowa.
And you're in your senior wrestling season now. I think you had a tournament last week. How did that go? And in conjunction with that, Leighton, how do you feel like wrestling translates and helps you on the football field?
So this weekend, we were in Brecksville, Ohio, one of the kind of premier tournaments in the country. I think there's like 7 or 8 nationally ranked teams. I got second. I had a close loss. I think he was ranked like 9th in the country, and I'm like 16th, 17th maybe. So that was good. I mean, I can't be mad about good competition. There's no one that good in Indiana. That was on his level. As far as some of the kids I've wrestled too, on our national schedule. And wrestling, I mean, it helps with obviously like leverage and hand fighting for defensive and offensive linemen, but kind of mental toughness too, something that people don't really talk about. And then even if you're not a great wrestler, it'll help you keep in shape and keep your footwork good for football.
What's your scouting report on Ben Keeter as a wrestler?
He's pretty good. I would probably have my hands full with him, to say the least.
Yeah, Ben is down at the Under Armour game this weekend, and you're also heading to an all-star game. Tell folks about that a little bit and kind of what you're hoping for there.
So I actually went 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So the Army and the Adidas one used to be the same thing in San Antonio, but then they split up about 4 or 5 years ago. And this
I didn't know that.
Yeah, me and Trevor went to the first annual 2.0 of the U.S. Army version, and that was, really good. I mean, it's the same thing as the other ones. Good competition, fun time, a week in Texas. Just a great experience. Kind of allowed me to escape wrestling for a week and kind of loosen up a little on the football field. But I mean, yeah, that was a great experience.
I imagine it was nice having Trevor there with you. So, you guys both kind of, I'm sure, have a relationship and were able to probably, bounce ideas and what you were experiencing, off of each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I've known him for a while. I think his family lives in Brownsburg. Not him, but I mean his grandma and grandparents. So he's here a lot. We talk probably every day. And yeah, we're very similar on the football field and off the football field. Kind of what our goals are and our intentions. So I feel like it was great to play with him for a game, and I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, for those folks that are listening and don't know who we're referring to, it's Trevor Lauk from Indianapolis, which, again, geography lesson here. Leighton is from Brownsburg, which is where I like to stay when I come in for like the Big Ten championship or Big Ten tournament. I can stay in Brownsburg. I can shoot into Indy, come back out. I love it there. It's very close to the city. And have you lived there your whole life, Leighton?
Yeah, I've lived there my whole life.
What's the competition like on a high school level where you guys are?
I'd say probably the best competition in Indiana. Maybe not our conference wise, but with what Indiana allows us to do is we can get teams from Cincinnati, Louisville, Detroit. We scrimmage like East St. Louis in our team camp. So it kind of allows us to get a little bit of everything on top of some of the more storied programs. We scrimmage Center Grove. They're top 20 in the country every year. Carmel, they have, I think, maybe 10 state championships for football.
Yeah.
A bunch of powerhouses around here, and our coaches really changed our program around. So it's been great. I think we had 9 or 8 D1 guys on our team this year, and we play teams that are just like us. I mean, week in, week out.
You're listed as an interior offensive lineman. Is that guard? I know center's probably your where you want your future to be, but how flexible are you if you had to play guard or could play guard? Is that something you're open to as well?
I mean, yeah, I'm open to anything. I haven't heard much guard talk. It's pretty much only center. Yeah, I think Piper, I think he could either be center guard depending on what we need. But yeah, I've only heard just center.
What is it about that position that you like?
I like obviously I was like known for having good O linemen, but really just the center position. I mean, there's like Linderbaum, Blythe. There's so many guys that come in just like the way I did. Probably, well, last year I was 250 pounds, but they come in kind of small, and as defensive linemen, they come in the program and come out. I mean, very good centers, physical guys, wrestlers. So, it's been really good.
So football, wrestling, do you participate in track and field? Have you done other sports in your high school life, or is it just those two?
No, I do freestyle and Greco too. So that kind of is like my spring kind of thing.
What are your academic goals in college?
So I want to right now I'm signed up as, or planning on majoring in sports recreation. Kind of the only thing I found interest in. A lot of people think business, but that really didn't interest me. Kind of thinking more towards athletic director, sports agency, ticket sales, marketing, something like that. If the NFL doesn't work out, so I'm still connected to sports just a little bit.
Cool. Let us know a little bit about what the relationship is like with members of this 2023 Iowa recruiting class.
They're as probably as good as it can get. We talk probably every day. Some guys more than others, obviously.
Group text?
Yeah, we have one with Tyler on iMessage, and then another one on Snapchat. This is more like what we're on. I mean, it's been great. There's guys with big personalities like Nestor. I kind of talk a lot in there. Me, Trevor, Moda, all those guys. It's been nice. Kind of get to communicate with who we kind of want. We're recruiting. That or just plans on game day. Who's coming to the Michigan game or who's coming to the Nebraska game, and just keeping track of each other's kind of high school seasons too. And that was really fun to kind of see how everyone was doing.
How do you guys kind of handle? You talked about being on the same page in terms of guys that you want to help recruit to the class and to the program. How do you kind of handle that? Having gone through it yourself, and it's individual choice for each person, and you don't want to overstep it, but you also want to let them know that they're wanted and you'd like to play with them.
I mean, we kind of just reach out and tell them. I mean, they fit the program really good. Keep in contact. Sometimes it is nice to hear from a guy that's committed, what really goes on. Maybe not just for Iowa, but somewhere else. Probably helps them, especially if they're kind of mixed up on where they should go.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of telling them that they would fit in well with the team, and the us other commits personality wise it's a real thing, comfortability wise.
You talked earlier in the pod about NIL and how much that's a factor now. What's kind of your view of it from the inside when you're watching, friends, people people in the class, that it's something that wasn't there before, recently. Even when you were being recruited, it wasn't as big as it is now. What's kind of your view of it?
My view, for what it was supposed to be, I really liked it. Kind of like if you're a featured player, you get kind of like I don't know how you say it, like sponsored, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that aspect of it, but kind of like the signing bonuses, like the NFL, what some of these programs are doing, I think it's pretty dumb. It kind of just takes away from the game, for what it was supposed to be. But I mean, the way Iowa does it's probably more realistic, rather than some of these other programs. If you're a featured player or make plays, the good things are gonna happen for you. So that's the way it is.
Kind of like an earn it, right?
Yeah.
Before you don't get it before you earn it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to ask about this, but I will in relation to this. Your offensive line class lost a big piece, before signing day. I know you had a relationship with Caden. How did you kind of watch that go on? And did you reach out to him? Did Trevor, were you guys kind of letting him know kind of how you felt about it? What was that like going through that?
So that kind of whole happened when we were in Dallas. So me and Trevor were in the same room, kind of just talking what's going to happen. Oh, he's leaving for Bama, that type of thing. We need to text him, see how he's doing, all that stuff. And then when he kind of made it to us that he wasn't staying, it was pretty disappointing. Hate to see a player like that leave, but he's doing what's best for himself and his family. So Can't knock him for that. But yeah, I love the time we spent with him.
How do you go into Iowa? Do you go in thinking, okay, I'm going to compete right away? Do you go in thinking, I'm going to need some development time? Obviously, you're going to need development time, but before you get on the field, what will be your approach when you do get there?
My mindset, been pretty strict on this for a while, is kind of go in, develop, get as strong as I can with the weight staff. Just do things the right way, get comfortable with the playbook and everything, and then after that, really try to compete. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna redshirt, so kind of use that year as like a just prepping for get ready for year two. But if they need me, then I have no problem with stepping up.
What's kind of your plan after the wrestling season? Are you going to do more Greco and stuff like that? Are you going to turn focus on getting yourself physically ready for college football? What's kind of your plan for the spring?
Yeah, I'll hang the wrestling shoes up after state, which is mid-February, and then I'm just gonna stay in the weight room, get athletic and as strong as possible. Just trying to get Big Ten ready, work on snapping and all that.
Are you starting to, as we get into January here, are you starting to realize that the wrestling career is coming to an end? That's got to be a little bit bittersweet. It's something you've done your whole life, and you're going from a 2-sport athlete to a 1-sport athlete.
Yeah, I was talking with my parents a little the other day, and I was like, I don't know what's gonna feel like not wrestling. I mean, I've never not wrestled during the season, especially after football. Usually, it's just right then, right when we
Yeah.
lose in the tournament, and then straight into wrestling. Um, and it will be weird. I think if we get a break or something, that I'll probably want to put them back on just to get loose. but but yeah, it's definitely a weird feeling.
Maybe Keeter will let you come over to the wrestling room, and you guys can get some work in over there.
That'd be great.
A couple before I let you go, I kind of like to let the fans know a little bit more about you personally. So just some kind of general questions. What do you like to do kind of in your free time when you're not involved in sports?
I kind of just like to be with friends and family. Um, Being kind of a high level 2-sport athlete is something you don't get to do a lot. Whether you go to school and then practice, and then it's 7 and you just eat, and then you just want to go to sleep. Just like spending time with friends and family, especially because it's very limited.
What do you like to do with friends and family? Are you a video game person? Are you a movie person? What are the activities you like to partake in?
I wouldn't say I'm hardcore video games, but if I need to kill time, that's definitely what I'm doing. Um,
What do you play?
I play Madden, Fortnite, kind of just like the basic stuff.
Mm-hmm. Movie guy? Do you do you enjoy movies? Is there a genre that you enjoy most if you're going to go to watch a movie?
I've never really gotten too deep into movies. My mom has me watching Yellowstone right now.
I'm a fan.
So
It's good
yeah, so
stuff.
it's pretty interesting. Something different lifestyle than it is out in Indiana. So I'm kind of interested in that.
What's your relationship like with Coach Barnett?
It's very very tight and close. Being his first commit, he kind of like took me under his wing.
He
Uh,
recruited you when he was at Miami, right?
no,
Oh,
I honestly had no sort of like attention or exposure before I went to the Iowa camp.
okay. I must have you mixed up with somebody else. Good relationship though with Coach Barnett.
Oh yeah, it's very tight. I was his first commit, and then he kind of asked for my input sometimes. Um, how's this guy that we're recruiting doing? Um, how do you feel with this guy? And then he'll ask about wrestling. His son wrestles or is going to wrestle, so he just kind of asks me about that. Um, every once in a while, it's just casual conversations. nothing like we need you to start next year or you need to get up to 300 and some pounds. It's nothing
Could
like
you
that.
could you do that?
I think I could. I probably wouldn't feel good putting it on quick, but I'd rather just do that in the redshirt year.
What do you think is a comfortable weight for you in college, where you can maintain your athleticism but get the desired bulk and strength that you need to compete?
I've never really gotten over 285, so maybe like 295.
Okay.
If I can get to 300, maybe. um, it won't hurt against the Ohio States and Michigans. So
Yeah, no doubt. What did it mean to you when Coach Ferentz and Coach Barnett came to watch you wrestle?
it was great. I actually got to talk with them my 7th period class. So I came down to the weight room and kind of all talking to my head coach. Kind of talking about he was talking about how his sons and all the offensive linemen that came through. He was also talking about the transfer portal and like how everything's kind of evolving right now. And just knowing that he believes in Coach Barnett and they believe in each other and they work together. Also, that he's probably one of the best O-line coaches of all time. It's kind of great to kind of hear his brain out loud. And then when they saw my wrestling match, they actually forfeited against me, our rival school. I mean, that was
was that anticipated or was that surprising?
It was surprising. I mean, our dual meets are pretty big. We have a DJ and lights and walkout songs. So, I mean, if you forfeit, then you're kind of like frowned upon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was pretty disappointed, especially because Coach Ferentz only gets to see so many guys on those home visits. And he chose to see me, and then I got a forfeit. So I was kind of mad about that. But
that's a bummer. Again, maybe you and Ben can get together when you get to Iowa City and wrestle in front of Coach. Obviously, offensive linemen like to eat. It's, you guys are big guys. It's not something you guys are eating like a lot of diet foods. What's your go-to? What type of foods do you like? And what were the holidays like for you in terms of consumption?
So I'm more of a picky guy, but I really like barbecue and steaks and chicken, pork chops. Holidays are good. The one day a year I like turkey, Thanksgiving, and then the holidays are good. Went to St. Elmo's to celebrate my signing, so I was
Nice.
also good. Got some steak and lobster. Yeah, I like pork ribs, brisket, pulled pork. I had last night. I mean, all of that I really like.
Yeah, the barbecue in Iowa City's not great. Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack's okay. There's Pop's Barbecue. There's a couple places I think you'll enjoy here when you get to Iowa City.
Yeah, we actually went to. I've been to Jimmy Jack's like 3 times. And is it Mosley's like 2 or 3 times, and then I've been to Jethro's in Des Moines, driving through, on the game visits in Nebraska. So that was also pretty good.
Yeah, all of those places are really good. You got to check out Pops too. It's downtown. So
is it the place with the kind of like by a gas station kind of?
Yeah, it's on the corner there. There's a church across the way.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, you got to check them out. They're a little bit different. It's not like your traditional barbecue, but it's really good. So that's a spot for you to hit when you get up here.
All right.
Are you kind of taking enjoyment out of this time? Are you like excited to get to Iowa? Are you trying to live it day to day and make sure you don't miss out on this experience, which is the last experience with, the people you grew up with? These are your high school friends that, will probably be with you for life.
I would say I'm kind of leaning towards more the excited to get to Iowa City. I've lived every day with my friends since we were like 2 or 3, playing football, baseball, basketball together. Some of them weren't tough enough to wrestle. But yeah, I'm definitely living these days out. And they know too that, I'm gone in the second week in June, so
Yeah.
they're trying to spend as much time with me as possible too. But I'm excited to get up there.
Last one, I'll let you go. In terms of, you talked about the relationship with this 2023 Iowa class. What have you guys talked about just in terms of goals that you would like to meet when you get to college?
Yeah, so we kind of have our own O-line group chat. So I asked them kind of like what was their goals. Mainly, Trevor said compete, dress away games, and mine was basically develop and maybe get to a few away games if I can. I have no clue what the depth chart looks like. It's something I didn't really look into, which is kind of a good thing. And then Cannon and Cade said they want to develop. Those guys come from, I think, smaller schools, so it might be a little bit harder for them to adjust. But I mean, they got recruited here for a reason. And then some of the DBs and receivers, they really want to get on special teams. So that's obviously a big part of Iowa's game. And then some other guys just want to compete right away. But yeah, that's mainly it.
I lied. One more. Obviously, a lot of excitement over adding Cade McNamara and Eric All, and now Seth Anderson last night. It's interesting because it used to not be this way. The class was just high school guys. Now you've got transfers in there as well. Are you guys excited about that and having those guys being coming into the program with you?
Oh yeah, we were excited when McNamara joined. Just because he's a guy that knows the in and outs of college football. He's been on the highest stages. And just bringing that to Iowa City, I think, was a really good thing, especially his teammate Eric, and then this wide receiver that we had yesterday. Was it like Charlotte or something?
Charleston Southern.
Oh yeah, Charleston. So adding those guys, we believe in Iowa staff, and if they're bringing them, they're bringing them for a good reason. Make the team better in a good way. So yeah, we were pumped about those guys.
Cool. So good class right now. Got some good walk-ons coming in as well for Iowa in 23. I think up to 30 or 31 players now, including transfers and everything else. So should be a good group, and coming off a nice win. You had to enjoy Saturday's game against Kentucky. That was, Iowa's defense is something.
Oh, yeah. And I really like watching the first drive, too.
Yeah.
First and second drive, they got it going right there, right off the jump. Seeing Laporta kind of like take control of the game was also pretty fun, too. And obviously the defense always shows out. So, I had a good time watching it.
So are you creating more Iowa fans in Brownsburg now that they know you're going, friends and family and stuff like that, getting the gear and getting ready for you to get to Iowa City?
Oh yeah, definitely. One of my buddies I was with last night said he actually ordered a shirt. But yeah, and my coaches too, my high school coaches there, they really like it. They really think that was my fit there too. My high school coach, I think Kelvin Bell came because the schools can come during like January or February and see you like evaluate. I think they call it evaluation period. So he came in, he saw me wrestle, and he's like, things are going to happen pretty quick. We want you to get to a spring practice. And if Bell's like one of the best recruiters I've ever got a chance to talk to. So he was just like, if we don't work out, then I hope you the best and whatever fits you. And after that conversation, after that practice, I told my coach, I said, I want to go here. And he goes, it's perfect for you. So I was like, yeah.
Well, I know fans are excited for your arrival, Leighton, and this whole class. I'm looking forward to the future for you guys. I thank you a ton for coming on with us today. I know it's a busy schedule, and we wish you the best. Anything you want to say to Hawkeye fans before we sign off?
Let's go Hawks. I mean, I can't say much else. Appreciate you having me. It's a great opportunity.
Thanks for everybody for listening. We appreciate the sponsors as well, and we'll be back with another member of the class of 2023 soon. We appreciate Leighton be the first guy on here for us for 2023, and look forward to talking to some more in this class. So thanks everybody for listening. Thanks to the sponsors, and we will talk to you again soon.